Hey guys, before the video starts, I just want to give you a brief disclaimer that this PowerPoint is going to basically include an outline over different topics that could appear on this test, but not everything is going to be, but it's not going to be super detailed on every single topic, but it is going to be detailed enough to refresh your memory or to teach you new things in case you forget them, or just new things in general if you never paid attention in your science classes. In case you're wondering why would she create free prep, well, it was kind of annoying to see that people wanted to, want to become teachers, but first of all, the test is already kind of expensive to take. People have bills to pay, and in this economy, quite frankly, who doesn't love free, right? So I just figured, why not? I want to make a difference and try helping people pass their test. And I've taken a teacher test before and I passed it. So yeah, this isn't just information that's just, oh, hey, I just randomly made this for no reason. No, I've actually passed, and I could actually share my study strategy with you guys in a future video, but for now, let's just get into the video with the prep. Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you some free prep of Texas X Life Sciences. I'm still working on this project. I've only finished part of it, so I hope you guys enjoy this. So first, before we even start, you need to know what the sections are. Well, the sections consist of this: scientific inquiry and processes, cell structure processes, hereditary and evolution of life, diversity of life, this and that. Now, one thing I will say is that the biggest focus, here's an important strategy. The biggest focus you need to focus on are the ones that make up the bulk, okay? Once you have these, then you could start focusing on the 15%. Then once you focus on the 15%, then you could start focusing on the 10%, okay? That's the order you need to focus on. So anyways, let's get back to the prep. So the first part we're going to be focusing on is scientific inquiry and processes. Biology. What is biology? It's the study of living organisms. So what is the material safety data sheet, also known as MSDS? It's a standardized document for a substance provides details on health hazards, proper spill cleanups, safe disposal methods, and potential environmental risks. I will say, probably look up next slide. What is wafting? Wafting is gently moving the air towards your face to perceive the scent, a safe method for smelling contents in a test tube. This is important because it minimizes the risk of inhaling potential harmful or toxic fumes. So essentially, if you want to smell what it smells like, just waft it. Don't stick your nose inside of it because it's toxic. So dot plot. This is what a dot plot looks like. Utilize dot plots to represent frequency counts and data visualizations. Ideal for small sets of quantitative data, provides clarity and simplicity. The key insights to this is mode identification, easily spot the most frequent data points. Graph shape and skew, visualize the distribution of characters. Outlier detection, quickly identify potential outliers in the data sheet. Metric system. A metric system of measurement that relies on a power of 10. Meters for unit measuring length or distance. Liters for measuring volume or capacity. Gram is a unit for measuring mass or weight. Meters. Unit for distance in the metric system. 1 meter is approximately equal to 39.37 inches. A line graph. Now, this is different than a dot plot. If you could already tell by the images, dot plots are more vertical, this is more horizontal. A graphical depiction of informative, illustrating variations over time in response to altered variable. So basically, these are just different types of graphs. Accuracy and precision. They might seem like they're the same thing, but they're really not. And this picture genuinely helps a lot. Just kind of look at this first for a few seconds. Okay, good. Now that you've seen it, let's explain what it is. Accuracy in measurements, getting close to correct value, similar to hitting a bullseye on a target. Measuring tool accuracy, precision within half of the smallest unit, comparable to darts closely grouped around the target, precision simplified. Consistency, how close his repeated measurements are to each other. Reliability, getting similar results each time, even if it's not exactly on target. Again, look at this image. Okay, cool. Gram is the fundamental metric for measuring mass. Quartiles. So there are different quartiles in data, right? There's a split a data set into 4 equal sections by implementing 3 divisions. In context of quartiles, it typically means the data set is divided into 4 parts by 3 specific values known as quartile points. These points are commonly denoted as Q1, Q2, and Q3. Here's a breakdown. First quartile separates the lowest 20%, 25% of the data. Q2, second quartile represents the median, dividing the data into 2 halves, 50% on each side. Third quartile separates the lowest 75%. Here's an example of some quartiles. This is another example of quartiles. Quartiles can also look like this. The data. Maximum. The maximum value within the data set. Stem and leaf plot. Stem plot. This is the stem. This is the leaf. Divides each data point into a stem and leaf. Stem represents a non-last digits. Leaf is usually the last digit. Ideal for small data sets. Perfect for visualizing smaller sets of quantitative data. Key benefits: it's quick identification of outliers, visualization of data clusters, easy spotting of gaps in the dataset. Astronomical unit, AU. The mean distance from Earth to Sun is approximately 93 million miles. Another thing I will say is also try to remember the acronyms, because sometimes you never know if the test is going to just say the actual word or if it's just going to say the acronym, so just kind of try to remember the acronyms. Outlier is an individual data point that significantly exceeds or falls below the rest of the data in the set. Now, you might be like, well, not everything's perfect, not everything's perfectly linear. Well, the thing is, you can tell that it's going like this. You can see here that if you look at the trend, it's going kind of like that, right? But there's no it's not going up. This is just so random. Proportions. 2 ratios are the same. Here's an example. Minimum is the lowest value of the set in data. Bar graph. Visual representation of data using rectangular bars or different lengths of heights to show the quantities of value in different categories. As you can tell, it looks like it's a bar, you know? Quantitative data. What is quantitative data? Data represented numerically, including anything that could be counted, measured, or given numerical value. Examples. Measurable characteristic: height, weight, temperature, income, etc. Key points expressed numerically involves specific numerical values. Measurable quantities represents characteristics that can be counted or measured. Tare. What is a tare? Tare calibrates the balance to 0 to achieve accurate measurements and eliminate any potential contaminants. What contaminants in this context? For example, in the process of weighing, contaminant could lead to be any material that adds weight to the measurement, leading to inaccurate results. Because even a milligram, can still taint your results. Now, what kind of scale are we talking about? Really just any scale, but here for visual references. Not that type of scale. This type of scale. See? For instance, this. Just your typical scale that weighs for food. Pie chart. A chart where a circle is segmented into sectors, each depicting a proportion of the whole. Pie charts are useful for visually representing a proportional distribution for different factors. Example. This is a random image of a pie chart from Google, but you get the gist. That's pretty much what pie charts can look like. Pie charts can also just be in different variations, like that. So it could be 3D, somewhat 3D, or flat. Light year. What is a light year? The distance that travels in 1 Earth year, approximately covering a distance of 5,800,000. That long number. Okay, that's billions, not millions. Sorry. Ugh, I feel so stupid. Wait. 6 figures. Millions. This is billions, trillions. What is qualitative data? The information is not expressed in numerical terms. It's information that describes qualities like colors, textures, opinions, or feelings without using numbers. Instead of using numbers to represent quantities, qualitative data describes attributes, characteristics, or qualities without assigning different numeric values to them. So qualitative and quantitative, just remember one of them uses numerics, basically, in other words, numbers, while quantitative is not really using, is using numbers, sorry. This one does not use numbers and the other one does. That's how you could kind of remember, to be honest. Margin of error. It means how much the actual measurement or result may differ from what we expected, considering that mistakes can happen in our equipment or calculations. Scientific notation. What is that? Values represented by multiplying a base -10 number with a factor numerical multiplier, falling between 1 and 10. So yes, for scientific notation, you do have to basically know some simple math. 10 to the power 10 is basically 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Not 10 times 4. There's a huge difference. Just to explain this real quick, 10 to the power 4 is not 10 times 4. It's 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. So basically 10 times 10 for meniscus. What is a meniscus? It's the concave shape formed on the surface of a liquid due to the liquid's adhesion to the glassware. This is a meniscus line. What are abstracts? Abstracts summarize accounts of scientific research studies typically found at the start of published articles. Interquartile ranges, IQR, the range between Q3, the median of the upper half of the data, and Q1, the median of the lower half of the data, calculated as the difference between the first and the third quartile. Here's an example. Now that you're done reading this example, let's go on to the next thing. Box and whisker plot. Here's another type of graph. So, box and whiskers plot is also known as a box plot. So just know the two because they might be they're interchangeable terms. A box plot divides the data into quartiles, with the central 50% forming the box and the lower 25% and the 25% creating the whisker. This visualization is suitable for larger data sets, enabling straightforward identifications of median, graph shapes, or skewness and ranges. As you can see, that's a box plot. Dimensional analysis / unit analysis. This is the method of converting within systems using multiplication by factors of 1 in different representations. So, this is basically how it works. That's what it looks like. That's kind of the example. So, in case you're a little bit confused, here's an example. Like in chemistry, there's something called stoichiometry, and you're basically having to cross out the different units to figure out the answer to change it into graphs. For example, they originally had this, and they're trying to turn this from moles to just grams. So they had to do a bunch of math, essentially, and cross things out. I could probably make a video more in depth onto certain subjects, but you guys need to tell me in the comment section, hey, please explain this subject into more detail, because I can't fit everything right now, because majority of this is the basics. Control group is the standard or unchanged group, an experiment that serves for the basis to comparison. It does not receive the experimental treatment, allowing researchers to assess the manipulated variables. Example, imagine testing a new fertilizer on plants. The control group would consist plants receiving no fertilizer. This group helps determine the fertilizer's effectiveness by proving baseline for comparison with plants and received to new fertilizer. Essentially, a control group is just, to see, so that way it doesn't it basically has something to compare itself to. That's all a control group is. If you want to see part 2, comment, like, subscribe, and share this video, please, and just let me know you like this video and want to see more.